crazy over yeah, la vida se bici. I went crazy over you. I went crazy over you.
Yeah, last night was absolutely ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't realize the bullshit was that thick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I really did not know that all that was going on. You know what I mean? I really didn't. Like, I was in total dark. I didn't know, like, that. I was in complete shock. I really would not have just went live like that to start trouble, but trouble did find its way. And that was just a total bloody melee in my like, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? That was a bloody melee. If I ever saw one. Or but guess what? Things got a little crazy last night. I cannot believe yesterday. All right, listen. I'll just give you straight up with you. Yesterday, I did so many life coaching sessions. I thought I didn't even think I was going to go live, and then I ended up going live for 4 hours, and it felt like an hour and a half. I was like, wait, what? I had no idea that Justin went on Nancy Grace with photos that were fraudulently. That's like a serious thing that he did. And the thing is I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push that. But if people are freaking out at that, I get why they're freaking out. Like, that's something I would never do. Like, I thought the craziest thing that Justin ever did was, call up Marvon McCrae's, I thought that was very brazen for him to call up Marvon's medical examiner and talk to him and record it and put it up on YouTube. I never thought that he would do something like that. Hey, Donna. But the fact that him and Buller and Betty would doctor photos and take a photo from the Idaho 4, layer it, mess with it, go on. I didn't see the video, but they didn't want to talk to no Buller and Betty, and it sounded, I couldn't even get through the whole thing. I was so disgusted. So what they did was they took these photos, and Betty somehow did something with them, overlapped them, layered something, to a point where it was discovered that they were completely fraudulent, showed them. Justin tried to give a cockamamie story to Nancy Grace, and then bada bing, bada boom, Nancy Grace and her producers got wind of it real quick, and what do you know? She took that shit down. I didn't know until after they took that shit down. So here I am texting people that I know that are close to Nancy Grace. I don't have Nancy Grace's knowledge. I just follow her on Instagram. I don't know her. She's not my friend. But I was like, oh my God. Now the thing is the big mystery, in my opinion, like what I'm thinking is the big mystery, like the big mystery to me was, did Justin know that they were fraudulently documented? Because in the afternoon, people were telling me about what had happened and what Buller and Betty did. They didn't say anything about Justin until like after. And I was like, listen, guys, I was telling everybody in Patreon, because they're like, when are you going live? When are you going live? And I'm like, and it was just supposed to be about Buller and Betty. It was the very last minute that I found out Justin was involved. That's the ever-loving truth. So it was just gonna be another Buller and Betty bash fest. And right before I went live, I was doing a session, and I ran into Adrian in the office, and I told him to call one of his friends that is a criminal attorney. And I said, get him on the phone. I had to get him on the phone. And he was like, what's your question, Marissa? I could just answer it. And I'm like, no, I want to know from a real attorney. I said, call. Now, guess what? Turns out that he is an attorney, a criminal attorney in 2 states. I'm not going to tell you what those states are, because you will die if I do tell you. Because that just makes it even more shocking. That's why I was like, call him. It was ironic, because I remember talking to my husband about, call up this one guy that's in Texas, call him up, that's an attorney. And he was like, well, he's not a criminal attorney. So I said, call this other guy that's attorney. And sure enough, I said, is what they did, where they manipulated the photos, well, not that they, that she, meaning Buller and Betty, manipulated the photo, is that a crime? And I told him the story, what I knew of the story, and he said that goes along the lines of fraud. He goes to deceptively, and I guess he said something about acknowledge any sort of fake receipt of, maybe Adrian can explain what he fucking said. Any knowledge of, infactual. He said that it goes along fraud, and that it can be a crime if they were putting it out in an effort to make money. I had to go live because I was supposed to do this last night, and I was really exhausted, and then I just got mad, and I was like yelling and shit, and I'm yelling about something that I'm completely out of control, out of touch with, and what I really wanted to say. But the thing is there's so many people that are watching me that are so aware and invested with this Sebastian Rogers thing. I mean, I'm not doing true crime. Let me tell you something. If I decided to get back into true crime, these motherfuckers would have, a little bit of, clarity, And I'm not playing fucking games with these people anymore. I'm not in competition with them. I don't want to be friends with them. I don't want to ever do boots on the ground kind of stuff. I don't think I was any good at it. And honestly, I don't think you want to know what I think happened. The first, I was sitting there saying, shit, I can't even imagine. Well, guess what? It was the perfect crime. And if I was a cop and I was assessing this whole fucking situation as a real cop, or I don't think I would be in the FBI, but if I really was a cop, I would really say, not for nothing, that person, boom. Most probable, that one. Now, you never know. They might be close to tying something together with that particular person. That is true. But guess what? You got someone in there that is a poison. And that, just mainly because, now the double-edged sword with Seth Rogers. Because remember, Seth Rogers found the perfect village idiot being Boomer and Betty. So Boomer and Betty's gonna end up doing friggin' time for this guy. He doesn't give a shit about her. These people don't give a shit about her. Come on. We all know that. And all to get back at Katie, right? She probably thought she was in love with him too. She probably thought she was gonna get a boyfriend out of it. Oh, this will do wonders for my channel. If I could just bag Seth. And the fact that she would even have that in her mind. Someone that's grieving the loss of a child. And it's even worse than grieving the loss, because then that would just say, that would validate that he was, like, seriously gone. But to me, that would be worse. If it was Jake, I'd rather Jake not be alive than him just be missing. That's the difference. I don't think J-Lo's ever been griefed in her entire life. Ever. That girl was very, very hungry back in the day. She is embarrassing. It's terrible what she has done. Just for some attention and money. Guess what we learned last night? Everybody's got their price. Everybody's got their price. And let me tell you something. I really did believe that a lot of these people cared. They get to a point where they see somebody and they lose their minds. Because they never had any. And I get it. I get it. It's one thing to be, why can't you just work? Why didn't Betty keep her mouth shut? Why didn't Betty just do the work? Why didn't she do that? I know she can edit. Why didn't she just mimic anything that Jonathan Lee Riches was doing or her friend Olivia? She would have had the same numbers and the same money coming in. But she doesn't. And I get why she's not doing Florida. I get why she's doing it. She's not fooling anybody. She's not fooling anybody. And that's the thing, man. The quicker you guys freaking realize that these people think that you guys are fucking stupid, and so some of them literally get them together and think of ways to fucking screw you. I've heard them. Oh, let's fake a fight. I'm not going to do that. This shit's been going on since 2018. Oh, let's fake a fight. Okay, how old are you? Oh, we can make lots of money. We can battle. I'm not faking a fight with you. Have a fight with yourself. Go jerk off in a corner. We're freaking adults and we're fighting over things that we're never going to meet each other. And then if we do meet each other, we're going to end up hating each other. So guess what? I don't want to meet any of your fucking sorry asses. When we got done with our girl trip in Charleston, one of the girls, I won't say who, said, oh my God. She goes, I was so worried, knowing that, it was all Patreon girls. She goes, I thought it was going to be uncomfortable. She goes, I was afraid we were going to get crazy, trashy, whitey women. I thought that we were going to have, you know, trailer trash. And I'm like, oh God, and I never had a trailer following. You guys know that. Trump. I was wearing a Trump sweater last night. Charleston's beautiful. Yeah, it's pretty. Very pretty. Turns out we are spending 3 weeks behind the fridge. What? Yeah. So anyway, Adrian and his friends said that, yeah, that's a crime. So if Nancy Grace took it down, it's because somebody must have contacted someone. I don't know. All I know is she took it down because Justin and that guy Tony were incredible. And then last night, when I completely lost it, was when I saw the super chat from that Tony guy. I said, there's your fucking evidence. There was a $50 super chat given to fucking John Bonet, right? And it was praising him. Swear to God. That video was insane. I can't believe they went on Nancy Grace and did that. Well, I mean, honestly, it has been getting to a point for a really long time where the mainstream media didn't want to get in bed with YouTubers. And then, guess what? You want to give a fake name? You want to give fake because you want attention? Guess what? That comes back on Nancy. I just can't imagine him doing something like that. I'm sorry. He's just, listen, can I see Bill Morbetti doing something like that? Yes. But not Justin. That's not who he was. That's not what he was about. You're right. It's no shame. Like, and listen, I'm not the moral fucking compass. You know, I'm not the Napoleon of friggin' moral compass. I'm definitely not. I've made mistakes, but when you get older, man, unless you're desperate and it's gonna make you rich forever, you don't do it. Everyone's old enough to know this by now. Doesn't make you rich forever, then you don't do it. I never thought that I would ever see the inside of a jail cell. Granted, I've never been in prison or spent 6 hours in a jail cell, but, and thank God I was drunk for most of it, but nothing's worth more than your freedom. They need to stop it because it's getting worse and it's getting worse. I get it. Some people don't like Nancy Grace. I get that. But you heard her. I don't care what a bunch of internet trolls say or think, and I believe that. I talked to her about that when I met her. She's like, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. Yeah, I know. You're making tons of money. Listen, celebrities don't care about your little hate comments. It's very rare that you're going to find an actual celebrity block you because you made some sort of comments that hurt their little feelings. It just does not happen. You need the hate. The more people that hate you, the better off that you are because you have the attention. People are, I know what that's like. And after a while, when you have like people hating you and making things up about you and a lot of things don't even make sense, you're just like, yeah, I got it now. But the thing is like, when they hate you for no reason is one thing. When they hate you and they have reasons, you get what I'm saying? Like there's reasons to hate Bull Renee. Because she's not a good person. And she's not the type of person that should ever be fighting for victims when really she definitely exploits it. But I will say that Justin is inching his way closer to being labeled a tragedy pimp, right? If that's what he wanted, and that's what he was crying over last night, and he thought that all that was good, I thought that was a complete setup for him. That's what I saw. I felt like that was a total setup because you saw the gaslighting in that $50 tweet from Tony. You've been there for sad. You're such a great person. I was like, boom. They knew I was over there saying, Justin, whatever. Because I was asking my chat. That's how it started. I was like, I don't understand this. How did Justin change so much? That was where it started. And people, you know, and they just started to say that it was money motivated. And I was like, But the thing is I just couldn't believe. So I think that Seth and Tony saw me mouthing off over there. And they wanted people to make it look like he had a lot of support, right? So they started lighting up his board. But just remember, when they light up your board that way, that's a trade. Because that's the devil talking. That was the devil talking. Because if you really appreciated Justin's work, which I was like, what is your work? What the fuck are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're not out there looking for him. And you certainly didn't show up at Leilani's fucking trial. He was outside Leilani's fucking house making a lot of money. They all were. I was with them. They all made money. I was the only one that did not. You didn't see me complain once. Are you making money? You didn't see me complain. Yeah, I did that. I went down there because Betty asked me to. She was getting nowhere. Oh, I need you to come down here and yell at me and yell for me. Come on. I was like, I don't even know this fucking story. Oh, well, Justin knows the story. I was like, oh, okay. What do you know? Grandma was afraid of me. Didn't know why. So I started running. Like physically running away. I was like, what does she think? That I'm here to like hurt her? Physically hurt her? Leilani Simon, apparently she's not a fan of mine. And it was all because of that Voices chick. Right? God knows what she was fucking saying. Oh, my wife's a terrible person. Chill out on the fucking terrible person. If you don't like what I'm fucking saying, then one thing. Calling me a fucking terrible person? No. It took me having to leave for everybody to open their eyes. Well, I didn't even leave. I got kicked off. Kicked out of the club. I mean, normally I say that I don't know what happened, but after last night with me freaking out, a lot of things really kind of, and you can tell Dolly I told you this. What really stuck out at me last night and made me feel really uncomfortable was, like I said, everybody's got their fucking price, is the donation, a $49.99 donation to Justin that said, Justin, thank you so much for being there for Seth. You're doing such great things. That was insanely cunning, manipulative. It was gaslighting at its fucking finest. That's why I had to turn the whole fucking thing off. Because I was like, you know what? They got Justin by the fucking balls. So you want to know why he's with Betty, Bullhorn Betty. You want to know that they all have an interest. That's what it all comes down to. I think that Justin lost his way. I think he did. And I think it happened after I was thrown off YouTube. Someone got to him because he's not that sensitive person that I remind. Hey, Lady Divine. He's not that sensitive person that I remember. He was very, very sweet back then. And some people say, oh, then he was just being fake. No, I think that some people just do get sour. Hopefully, honestly, I hope that he finds his way. I hope that he finds his way back to God. Honestly, I don't even want to like bring God into it, but for me and my mental, for everything that I saw mainly with the Cash Gurnan and then Marvon McRae, just all that evil and just what it did to my brain, what it did to just everything. Like when we got down to, when I first met Dolly, it was outside Quentin Simon's house. I looked over and I said, I can't, nope, I'm not looking at his face. And Justin's like, why won't you look at his face? I said, because I don't want that little kid's face imprinted in my head. And he goes, not me. He goes, he's my heart. He's my heart. Why didn't you show up at the court, dude? Yeah, that's when people freaked out on him, was the whole share thing. Listen, I was completely shocked myself. It's not looking good for Justin Bullhorn. Betty is not good for him. She's not good for anybody. Why do you think Seth's got such a bad reputation? What has she got on him for him to be like this? Well, when I questioned it, that's when they all got him riled up and told him to go live and said, oh, well, we're going to round this off and we're all going to give you money. Because they didn't want Seth and that Tony guy, mainly the Tony guy. They don't want me getting into your fucking head. They don't want me to explain to you what these motherfuckers are doing. Because you want to know something? It takes one to know one. I was called a scam artist and I never even was a scam artist. But guess what? I know exactly how they do it. And let me tell you something. When they're coming up with fake pictures, so you're telling me that all those people in that chat that I've never seen before, they were okay with Justin calling into. So you're telling me that all those people that were supposedly giving him money were okay with knowing that he talked to Nancy Grace, went on her show with fabricated, manipulated evidence. That's not the Justin that I fucking know. And gave a fake name? Fuck that. Fuck that. And that's the thing, like, I didn't think that I would ever get to a point where I would expose Justin, but there's nothing to expose. My whole thing is, what does Bullhorn Betty have over you that you have changed into this monster? Well, guess what? They put together a fake, when are these people gonna see it? They put together a fake lawsuit, stealing what I hear, I don't even know. But they're stealing a lawyer's letterhead? You can't do that. What do you expect? He's friends with voices behind the wall. I don't know. Listen, when you lay with trash, you're part of the trash. I don't recognize it either. Listen, a lot of people don't. But listen, everybody's got their fucking price. I personally won't do it. You've never once heard me say that I'm going out there to look for Sebastian. You never heard me once say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Fuck that shit. I'm not looking for anybody's kid ever again. I'm not sticking up for anybody ever again. And Justin doesn't even know what it's like to be called a fucking scam artist. Justin doesn't even know what it's like to be bullied on YouTube. He doesn't know what it's like to have people go real life on him. And I hope that that never happens. But he's playing a dangerous game here, because one thing I will tell you is that the people that are Team Sebastian are gonna figure out what they're doing. And the thing is my suspicions on where this kid is, if I was a cop, my eyes would be on one person. I'm not going to tell you who that person is. But there's one specific person, rhymes with Chris, that just rubs me really wrong. And guess what? Right now, these vultures are just waiting for the next kid to go missing. And there's plenty out there. But if they can make a shit show, you want to know what I think? I think that they didn't go crazy over Monkey Vaughn because they wanted to make a shit show out of it and they couldn't. And then when they saw the blowback with Kylie Rodney's parents, that they weren't going to take that shit, motherfuckers better fucking learn that there might be blowback. Remember when my mom said, I'm worried for you guys. What if you guys come across a case, mafia, cartel, or something with the FBI is involved? You're fucked. And that means I can't protect Jake. I can't protect my husband. I can't protect me. All because I want to make ad revenue? No. All because I want to make a super chat? Fuck no. I'm not fucking up my whole life, my whole family, for a Patreon? No. No. You want to be a Patreon? That means that you want to benefit from a life coaching session, and you know that I'm in a good place in life, and I really worked hard to be in that place so that I can become a life coach, and I've had a lot of experience doing so, and I'm still helping women, and we have had great friendships in Patreon. And a lot of us are just so close.
and we're vacationing together. And one girl last night said, we need another trip. I'm ready for another trip. I get it. I totally get it. Deception Detective did interesting videos on the Sebastian case. I'm sure. Was Justin the journalist reporting the news? He went on Nancy Grace. I didn't see the video, but I heard it. And he was talking to her and she pulled it down. But they were fabricated photos. And the thing is if he gets away with this, it's just like Bullhorn Betty. She's been getting away with a lot of stuff. Listen, there's a difference between Justin and Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty's a low-life piece of trash that has nothing to offer. She'll never get married. She'll never have children. She'll never have assets. Justin's the polar opposite. So that raises a flag. That raises a question like, Justin, you're supposed to be smart. What the fuck are you doing? Why couldn't he just stay neutral? Why couldn't he just stay neutral? He went on Nancy Grace very matter-of-factly. The way that he was speaking is that he was showing real evidence. Why wasn't that real hardcore evidence given to the police and the FBI? And you want to know something? Here we go. You got all these, dude, there's so many lawsuits going around Hollywood and New York City right now because people are putting out documentaries and fake news and this. Everybody's suing everybody for being fucking shady. You don't want to get sued by people with fucking money. And here's fucking Justin giving a goddamn fake name. Now, I'm not going to say his real fucking name, okay? That I'm not fucking doing. But I also had a very strange reaction to hearing that video last night, and people kind of figured out. Like, I talked to a Patreon, she was like, your face changed because you yelled out the last name. And that's how we all knew. So, listen, that wasn't planned. I didn't know he was even on Nancy Grace. But for them, Bullhorn Betty, to manipulate the photos. Now, what's weird is, are you guys wondering why Bullhorn Betty wasn't on there? Because you know Bullhorn Betty would push her way to the front. It was 2 days ago, and she ripped it down. Nancy Grace took it down. Somebody ripped it. It's on the Sunshine something, and it doesn't even have a title. I missed that completely. So many thirsty clout chases. Listen, I get it. Listen, not everybody is going to be Jonathan Lee Riches. Not everybody's going to be Logan Paul. Not everybody's going to be Prince. Not everybody blah, 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 blah. You have to find your own way. And the best way to find your own way is to be authentic.